Looks like the cat's found something to munch on. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Gallery 3, Part 3. We still got a ways to go. Still got a long ways to go. We're in for a big ride. Now we're going to see my gallery of marble pieces. And this everything marble all into one, pretty much. This guy dates back to the 80s. I took this picture, I believe, in the mid-90s. And he's pretty big and he's heavy too. Carrara marble. And he's about 12 inches tall here, so you can get some idea. He's pretty big and heavy. Here's the next one. It's a picture from the mid-90s. This may have been in Joe Mahan's collection. It's about 6 inches tall. Here's another one. And he's about 10 inches tall. And he stands up on his own, so he would be considered a statue. Here's another angle. And a lot of my pictures didn't turn out. They were too fuzzy or there was too much depth in them. But the ones that did turn out really good. Here's another marble piece. Really nice. And he stands on his own. He's a statue. Here's a horse head. Clearly Carrara marble. And I used to own this. I don't know what happened to it. He could have either burned up or I sold him or something. It's been years ago. It was a nice horse head. Really nice. Let's look at some more shots of it. Look at those silver intrusions in that marble. Beautiful. Here he is again. I'm going to blow him up a little here. Like I said, I don't know what happened to him. Either he burned up in the fire or I sold him. Here's another one I've used before. He was purchased at an auction, and as far as I know, he's gone to the wind. Nice piece. The owner allowed me to clean it up so that I could see it under the with the black light and the shortwave UV. And he is phosphorescent, or was. It's very nice though. Here he is blown up so you can see him. A lot more clear, a lot better. And this little marble piece here just got a little sun on him, and it'll just fit right in the palm of your hand. It's not very big at all. It's maybe 2.5 inches from top to bottom. And here's my picture of this guy. He is some kind of warrior. Got the shield there. Battle axe. It's a nice piece. Don't know where he is now. And that concludes my gallery with marble. I'm calling this section of the gallery people, but some of these are not people. They could go into creatures, but it's a toss-up. It's a toss-up. And there's going to be several warriors involved here. Here's a guy. I'm going to blow him up. This is just typical stone, about the size of your palm of your hand. It's an action. He's right-handed. Next we have this guy, this archer, riding in a chariot, pulled by a horse, and he's got clearly the Egyptian plumage up there. I'm going to blow it up. Heavily worn stone, but it is beautiful in its right. In its own right, man. This is a really nice tablet. Beautiful. So much history right here. If a picture's worth 1,000 words, this guy's worth 2,000. And this is a Letis Tiba. See his Let's Tiba. This is Queen of Queens, Cleopatra. This is her father. This is my shot of it. He's been around a long time. He was a pipe player. Which today, pipe would be like a wooden flute. We call them wooden flutes, but they called them pipes back then. That's him. He was a big, fat guy, according to history. And this is Croesus, king of Lydia. It says all that right here. I'm going to blow it up. And there's a lot of tablets in this tomb of people who had passed on 100, 200 years before. It was not uncommon to see an ancient king that was a predecessor to this business in this tomb. Here's the next one, really nicely carved. It's got a ship, sun over here. It's got a ship down under here too. Clearly Egyptian. It looks like this is a messenger handing him something, handing this king something. And you see that right there is clearly Egyptian up here in this corner. Let me see if I can get a better picture of it. Oh yeah, see? And I think that I initially purchased this from a collector in Cincinnati back in the late 90s, I think. I was traveling all over the country, buying artifacts, selling artifacts for years. Here's another little artifact. Could have gone into trinkets. I put him in people. This is the reverse of him. Clearly Egyptian. Here's another one, and I'm not sure about this guy. I really don't know. I owned this stone for a few years, several years actually. I'll blow it up for you. Don't know where he is today, but he's got a breastplate similar to the gold breastplates that we see associated with this tomb. He's got real short shorts. I'd call that Egyptian style. There's something over here. Maybe a libation pot or something. He's got his hand holding down to it. But what this is, I'm not sure. Whatever that is that a horn? Is it a club? Almost looks like it could be a horn or a musical instrument of some description. Here's another what appears to be a Roman soldier. I find it odd that he'd have a bow in this hand and something else in this hand instead of an arrow. But he's lifted out of the stone. It's a good stone. I owned this. I sold it years ago. Let's look at the script a little bit closer. Right here. There's his name. And when I say some of these guys aren't human, I have proof. I have proof. It's a well-carved stone. It's 3D. Let's look at the other side of him. Boom. Handsome little statue. And this is a strange one. It appears to me to be two guys inside a tunnel, a shaft, and that they're carving out with as would a miner in a shaft or something. I believe these two guys are miners, prospectors or something like that. It looks like it's an action type theater deal. And this is the design on the other end of the rock. I couldn't get the whole thing together. It looks like some kind of bird. Could be an eagle. They could be mining gold or something. It's real hard to see. Real faint. And here's the reverse of the same stone, which shows some kind of animal. The head kind of looks like a dragon or some kind of creature, but I don't know. I'm going to blow it up so you can see it better. I'm going to make it big here. Show you that face. Rawr. What kind of animal is that? Here's another handsome fellow. Nice looking warrior. That's the whole stone. I'm going to blow it up so you can see how handsome he is. Okay, cut him some slack. He's on a stone that's 2,000 years old. He's got his spear here. He's got his sword, his shield. Very well executed stone. Here's the next one, and I'm going to say, you look at him, and you look at this shield here, and he's got the sword here. He's got, you see the way his legs are positioned, and his hat here. I'm going to say that it's possible that he and this guy here are the same fellow. Can't be sure, but boy, they sure do look a lot alike. I'm going to blow him up and let you look at him. Good looking stone here. And you see the armbands here? Looks very similar to the previous stone. Here's another one that had wax on it so you can see it. If it didn't have that wax, these lines are so fine you'd never see it. This guy's real skinny. Not a good carving. And here's my image of this handsome fellow here. And this will conclude my gallery on people. Okay, here we go with my section called R1. And there's just two artifacts in this section. And these two artifacts do not exist in any other gallery because I was there when they were found. I'm going to try to explain this. This artifact was actually found inside the Hominy Hole cave or rock shelter in R1 in September of 1995. I was there and I videotaped it as well. We just had a big storm that had changed the landscape tremendously, and he wanted to go down and probe around some, and he goes, you know what, we never ever did any scraping around or anything at the Hominy Hole. I said, yeah, you're right, we didn't. And so he went down there, he started poking around, and he found this tablet here first. He actually found 3 tablets, but I only have 2 of them here, and I cannot find pictures of the other stone that he found, which basically had a piece of graphic on one side and some graphic on the other side. I'm going to blow it up. This is a small stone, probably about 4 inches high, 3.5 inches wide. It's got what appears to be a moon or a sun here in the center. And here is the other side. I'm going to call this the obverse of it. It's got some script here. And Paul deciphered this right after, I mean, not long after we actually found it, probably a month later. And basically what it says here in all these characters is, it says place of sacrifice, if I remember right, or sacrificial place, or great place of sacrifice. So, and we figured at this time that this stone had been salted, and then and as well as the other 2 stones. And I later found in Jack Ward's letters where Russ Burroughs had written that he had salted some stones in the Hominy Hole so that Virginia Horrigan could find a stone and see what it feels like to find a stone, but she never poked around in there. She never went inside there, and she never found them. And they sat there and sat in there for, what, 7 years? 7, 8 years before my man found it. I'll blow it up a little bit bigger here so you can see the characters on it. Some of them aren't real clear. But the person who found the stone allowed me to take it down to Florida. Or Paul came up. I can't remember which one. Paul may have come up and seen it himself and deciphered it then. I can't remember exactly. And here's another piece of a stone that we found in the. He found in. I was right there with him, and videotaped him. After he found the first one, I videotaped him digging up the next two. And it really is a nice piece, even though it's maybe 2 inches across here. I'm going to let you look at the other side of it. And this truly is indeed quite amazing because all this calcification is on top of the inscription itself. And that's what makes these stones really, really shine out as far as authenticity and age goes. It's when they have all this calcification and incrustations on them and patina. You could call that a patina if you wanted to, even though it's white. Patina is usually green, dark green, black, dark blue, whatever. But you see it's on top of the inscription. A couple of nice pieces that we found in R1, ravine number 1. Now we are in my rituals section. And I believe this stone was in the Mahan collection, which means I would have taken this picture in the early 90s. And I'm going to blow it up. We're calling this Serapis. Holding an ankh and staff. Really nice looking stone. I'm sorry that my camera didn't get a good shot of it. Well, it wasn't my camera's fault. It's partially my fault too. Real hard to get some of these photographs. Especially 25 years ago, let's face it. Really handsome looking, cow-headed, oxen-headed god type creature here. And here's another one of my favorites that's been featured in several different videos. I just love this artifact. Here's another wonderful carving of a ritual taking place. Action. And that concludes this section on rituals. This is going to be a very long section. This is text and scripted. And we're going to start off with this. We call it the Alus stone. You'll notice up here it shows the phases of the moon. Okay, very clearly there. And here you see Alus. And Alus is the name of the Greek wind god. But here you see it in Latin and Punic characters. And that's what you'll see in a lot of these tablets, is you'll see a god from some language written in a different language. So here you have Latin and Punic characters here. And here you have Greek characters. This is a Latin character, so is this. And here's a Greek omega here. Okay? And there's another Latin character. So on this tablet, this is what's just so spectacular, is that you have letters, characters from 4 different ancient languages on the same tablet. They wrote as they spoke. And basically what it says is the wind god Alus rises forth each evening and pushes the moon across the night sky. Amazing decipherment, amazing tablet. And this tablet is probably 4.5 inches, 5 inches across. It's not very big at all. And there's nothing on the rear of it. And this is just a simple Egyptian cartouche, Mary Amen Septet in raw Arxantris. This is the stand-up cartouche of Alexander the Greatest. And it's written about in the Wallis-Budge dictionaries. We've featured it many, many times before. We call this the Beatus River Stone, and it is deciphered in Tomb Tape 4. I believe also in Isaac and some of the others. It's a long decipherment. Paul deciphered this. This is one of the first stones. He deciphered this one here in summer of 94. And this is the reverse of the same stone. And now you'll notice that it doesn't appear anything like the Mississippi River system that we see with the Ohio and the Missouri and the Illinois. Even if you stood it up, it's not the same at all, okay? And this is the Beatum River, the Beatus River. And you'll notice it has some Roman numerals here. And that was where the last battle of the Pompeian forces were defeated by the Romans. And this entire section, you see how the rivers kind of come together here, and you got this area here with these settlements, these ancient settlements, and all of these correspond on this side of the Beatus River with ancient settlements. Ancient settlements all over the place. And this is Gadiz right here, the port city of Gadiz. Today, this area right here is a large swamp. That's why it's surrounded. It was surrounded by these three rivers. Well, today it's a swamp. Here's another one covered with script. We call this Beheaded. This is the other side of it. And this is the top of it, and it's a big stone. I believe this is in the Walter collection in Minneapolis, but I'm going to blow it up here. It's hard to get these large stones all in one. But you see, this fella here with the beard and his Egyptian-looking tunic here and shorts, he's holding this guy here by the hair. He's just cut his head off. How many ancient sites have tablets that depict something like this? If you're not going to find any. The artifacts from this tomb in Marion County, Illinois, blow anything in the world away. Blows them away. There is nothing more. And now, okay, well, why would somebody even fake something like this and then put, what, 70 characters? 70 or 80 characters down at the bottom? There he is, hanging by the hair. And that's what this script would be all about. Some of it really is hard to see. Here's our next item, which we call the birthday baton. This is deciphered on a couple of videos. It appears to have some music intonations on it. This right here could be music, who knows? And here's the stone itself. It basically has three sides, and it is Carrara marble. This is very unique in so much as that all of the letters that you see here are cut in a mirror image. Except for stuff like this Q here. Well, a Q doesn't matter if it's up, down, sideways, or a lot of these don't. Like this V here, what does it matter what direction that goes? It's not like our English today, but this has three sides to it. Let's look at one of the other sides. And to my knowledge, this tablet here, this birthday baton does not exist in any other gallery. And you'll see some scripting in here, which we think is music. And here's the top of it here. And what I did was I went to a ceramic shop in Mount Vernon back in summer of '95 when I owned that particular piece. And I laid out some ceramic clay and rolled it out. Rolled it. And then after it was kiln fired, I smudged it with rub-on. And it's read in a back and forth area way like this. And this is birthday song. It says something like, as I promised you, I am sending you this song to sing on your birthday at the Odes. So it basically looks like a birthday card sent from Helios to his sister Selene back in Mauritania, ancient Mauritania at that time. And it appears that this line here in the middle is some kind of musical score, maybe with a pipe or a flute. Fascinating, fascinating. And the fact that it goes in a zigzag form here. I think it's deciphered in lecture 4, my lecture 4 from 2014. This is another stone, we call it the mural stone. And it's not real big, it's maybe about 4 inches at the most. Can't remember exactly. And I'm going to blow it up though and let you see all of the script. And here's a foot. That looks like Scooby-Doo. Here's something here. It looks like maybe the horns of a bull, sun. Looks like some kind of creature perhaps in there. This looks like an arm with a hand. That is some kind of design. This looks like a bat over here. There's like some kind of animal chasing a fish. Here's another hand. It's all over the place. That's why I'm calling this a mural stone. And this is the Numerius tablet, which is deciphered at the end of Etruscan Volume 1. And this is written on a whalebone. But you didn't know that whalebones turn black, do they? Makes for a good medium. And this was in the Joe Mahan collection down in Columbus, Georgia. Really good translation by Paul on that one. He just outdid himself on this. This is the reverse of the same stone. Now we're looking at another stone. I call them scratches, indexing. But you notice this has no line. This has no line. And I always question people, well, if you had a paper plate and you had an ink pen and you just wanted to scribble down the lines like this, how long would it take you? Here's another one. It's got all these scratches and lines on it. And how long would it take somebody to replicate that just on a paper plate with an ink pen? Hundreds and hundreds of these little lines. And here's the reverse of it. So what you see on the front, you're going to have to redo it on the back. Here's my next entry in the scripted. Really clean. I'm going to blow it up, let you look at it from top to bottom. So you see all these T's here. There's a Q, R. Next, showing the entire stone. It's got like a snake ready to eat an egg down here. I'm going to blow it up for you. You get a good look at the script. There's a P, A, C, T, T, C, R, T, V, A, U, T. Next is this guy. Got a high star symbol in the sun. Here's the next one. This is the entire stone. I'm going to blow it up. Start to see some of these. There's an A. Looks like a B. Could be an R or a P. Q. R. S as S ends. There's a D. And wherever you see these symbols here, they are the same. So once you bust them, see that symbol there is going to be the same as this symbol one here and this one here. They're all going to have the same phonetic characteristics. Here's a dandy. Here's the whole stone. I'm going to blow it up. And here's your indexing down here at the bottom. And I don't think there's anything on the other side of that one. Here's the next one. Like it's got a cartouche over here. Let me blow it up. If you've noticed that some of the script and the characters are the same, you would be correct. The more you see this, and the more you familiarize yourself with it, the more that many of them start to look the same. Here's a Q, here's an M, there's an R, there's an N, Q, S, R, looks like a P, could be a G. There's clearly an M, S, Y. Does that look like a Y or what? There's a variation of a theta, da, Y, R. That could be pata, da, O. Good, clean script. Here's another one. If you're asking yourself, well, Harry, how come you don't decide? Because it takes a lot of time and effort, and we don't have the time, we don't have the effort, and nobody's paying us to do it. It would take thousands of dollars to have these deciphered, because once you get into deciphering, you have to just lock your mind into the script. It's not like you can just hit it for a couple of hours and then go take a nap and come. No. You have to stay with it. It becomes a job. It's a hardship. Deciphering ancient tablets is a hardship. And if somebody's not going to pay for it, I don't want to do it. So here's an A, S, Q, which means that the chances are this is read from the bottom up. There's a Q. This looks like Flagstone 2. Good looking script. Let's blow it up. And I'm probably going to feature our alphabet stats and give some grammar pointers, vocabulary pointers at the end of all this. Here you have the Helios at the top and bottom, and just to get people jump started into perhaps wanting to take the time on their own in their own schedule to do some deciphering. Once you start deciphering these tablets, it gets easier as you go along, but it's that initial thing of getting a hold of your phonetics, your grammars, and we'll be explaining some of that later on. Way later on. We got to show you the stones first. It's a cute stone here. Not a lot of script on it, but I have to show it really in script because there's not really a better place. And here's some more characters, real faint. Here's another one. And I believe that this one here actually translated into Phoenician, if I remember right. Even though it has some ancient Latin characters in it. There's a Greek. And it actually translated into Punic. Here's another little jewel. Pretty small, about 2 inches high. This one's got the sun at the top, water symbol at the bottom. Here you can see a Q, da, R, da, N. Here's clearly an M. There's clearly a K, A, K, R, Q, S, L, H, B, pata, backward F, I believe Paul deciphered this one years ago. I can't remember what it says. Here's the obverse of another one, and this stone goes way back to the 80s. He's been in several collections. And here's the other side of it. Here's another stone. It's probably about 6 inches high. It's pretty thin too. Shows a lot of the indexing. So how long would it take you to write that? And which gets me is a lot of these lines that you see separating the text are perfectly straight. Perfectly straight. This is the rear of the same stone. I'll blow this up so you can see it better. Here's another scripted piece, and it's about 6 inches high. Fascinating stone. It's got 2 perfect holes in it. Could have been a pendant, but or something. I'm going to blow it up so you can see it. It's got the sun here and some kind of spaceship or something over here, I would say. I do not call that the Eye of Ra, because the Eye of Ra is a lot different. A lot different. But here's the text. You can see here's a Q, a H, there's a Y, T, this is the reverse of the same stone. And I believe this stone here could be for sale. Nice piece. This is a small stone. It's about the size of a quarter. It's got this little stick man here. Shows his little tiny muscles, huh? And here's the reverse of it. It's got his name. Not much for text, but I didn't have any other place to put him, so I put him in here. Now, we call it stickman, but this could be some kind of pathway. This could be some kind of map stone. We're not sure. But you do see kind of a square head here with eyes, a nose, and a mouth. And this does kind of resemble 2 hands and 2 legs. That's the only thing this stone's got going for it. Let's look at the reverse of it. And you see here it has 4 legs with no body. It looks like a fish. There's a bird of sorts and some script right there. Not a spectacular bay. It's my job to show you what I got. Now we're looking at another tablet from the Mahan collection. I took this picture back in 1994. And you see it's got script right here. And it's got these lines here. What we call indexing for some reason. Okay, so, and I'm going to blow it up and let you look at it. It has the sun at the top. And here you see a Helios. Now, in 94, Shafranka deciphered this tablet as Territories of Helios. Now, several years later, when I had the notes from Jack Ward's file cabinets, Jack Ward had also deciphered this tablet. And Jack Ward had deciphered it as Lands of the Sun God. Lands, L-A-N-D-S, Lands of the Sun God. So, we therefore declared that Jack Ward actually made the first accurate modern day decipherment from one of these tablets from Alexander the Great's lost tomb. And we give him that. And I mean, Territories of Helios, land of the Sun God. That's close enough. That's close enough for me and Paul to tell you that he was first. Paul was second, but it was just a one tablet. Jack Ward did not get any other tablets correct. He got this one correct, and that's really all he had to do. Land of the Sun God. Here's my next entry. And this stone didn't pop up until the late 1990s. This is the whole piece, probably about 4 inches by 4 inches. blow up the script here. Scroll it down. Mostly Latin Punic characters. A couple of Greek characters thrown in here and there. It's got 6 medicine wheel or circle crosses on that side. And here is the reverse of the same stone. It's got a rattlesnake here. What appears to be an eagle or a chicken here. The full decipherment of this stone is on the Isaac video from 1995. It goes something like, with this death, I will be recreated, and I will be reincarnated like Osiris or something like that. You'd have to see it. It's been so long, and I didn't rehearse for it. And this was the face of it. And here is the side of it. And I've oriented it to where you can read it. It's all in Egyptian here. When I, like Osiris, are raised up from the dead and live in the abode of Ra. I have been saving the bestest for the lastest. And that is this scripted tablet here we call Flag 1. And it's a huge stone. Okay? And it's about 20 inches, which is this much here. I've got it blown up here, about the actual size of it. And it's maybe about 1.5 inches thick. And it's just big. And it's heavy. And it has like 199 characters on it. And each one of the characters, this being about actual size, is about 3/8 to 1/2 inch. It's got 199 characters on it, give or take 1 or 2. And we're going to look at this. This is the only gallery that you're going to see this stone at, because nobody else really is set up enough to take pictures of this largest stone, because I had to get far away from it with my tripods and such and then get the lighting right. And now we're going to look at this stone. We're going to examine it. I'm going to blow it up and explain a little bit more about it. Now, as you can see, it has lines going down through it like this. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then over here has another line, a 5th line. So it's got 5 lines going down. And as you see it pictured here is exactly how it is supposed to be oriented, because you can tell by the A's. The A's will always give away how the stone is supposed to be oriented. Another identifier is, for instance, an M. But N's, S's, T's, F's, Q's especially, a Q can be sideways, up, down, but an A will always appear like that. And just to make sure that I could get all of the scripting on it, I took several pictures of it, and we're going to look at them all. Flagstone 1. Okay, this is the far left-hand side of it. And if anybody wanted to copy down this script, that's why I'm doing this. So that if somebody wants to take on attempting to decipher this, we're going to give you all the information we have. We're going to give you our alphabets in a distant video, and you can write down these. There's an R, Y, backward F, T, you know, just all over the place. And so I'm going to blow these up, each one of them, and we're going to start at the top and work our way down. And with the given lines, then you have to assume that you're going to have to figure out if it's up, down, or if this goes up, then that goes down, or if that goes, or up. You can tell as you start to create words and pronounce them and make the words phonetically with the script. And here's an R, here's an S, there's an L, there's an A, there's like a B, a ba. R, you know, so there's an E, C, P, and so we're going to just go through it and go spend some time on this tablet, because it's a really nice tablet. Now, it is mostly Latin and Punic characters with 1 or 2 Greek characters or more, or some double over Latin and Greek, because there's a couple there. But it only has one Egyptian hieroglyph, which I'm going to show. This is more towards the midsection of the tablet. And here you see the Egyptian hieroglyph for walking or moving. But for the most part, it's Punic. Now, in case you're wondering, I used the terms Punic and Phoenician interchangeable. The Phoenicians spoke and wrote the Punic language. Okay, Punic characters are Phoenician characters. You can switch and swap Phoenician and Punic all you want to. It can be the Punic people, it can be the Phoenician people. It can be Punic alphabet or Phoenician alphabet. They are interchangeable. And let's continue. Here's the far right of the tablet. And I'm blowing these up because in the initial tablet pictures, it was real hard to focus in and get really good, clean script. I'm just always really trying to get the script. There's the symbol for water. There's your walking legs. There's A, T, R. Looks like an N. Now the differences between N's and S's is N's have longer tails than the S's do, and the S's are kind of kicked back. Looks actually like a reverse S of a today. Which we'll go into that later. There looks like kind of a Numidian character. And there's a little cosmos there. Cute. And there's a little bit of the indexing, which we're going to see on the rear of the stone here also. Go look at both sides. This stone is fascinating. Now, what the problem is with this stone is that the syntax of it is some kind of obscure Semitic Egyptian syntax. Even though it only has one Egyptian character, we've tried to bust this tablet, and it's some kind of obscure Egyptian or Semitic syntax that has really got us scratching our heads. And it is such a beautiful tablet. I would just love. But we're going to see some more. It's probably a ritual tablet. Let's go to the next picture I've got. And here's a better one of the right-hand side of it. Just getting different angles so that you can see each and every character in it, because this tablet is so spectacular. Saving the best for last. And somebody can come back to this. There's an R, D, S, Ba. And write these characters down, and then when we give you our take on the alphabets, then you will be able to, make some words. There's a Helios. Here's a picture of the midsection. It's a good picture. And I took all these with digital cameras and lights. I took these in, this stone lives in Minneapolis, and my buddy Griff, which he also took a gallery, which is quite unique, that I'm going to be showing. See, there's your R again. Gonna blow it up again so you can really get a good looking at it. There's a U, T. Here again is the far left-hand side. A little bit better picture now that it's closer up. You can see these more prominent here. There's your A, your Ba. There's a Y, R, L, C, Y, T, a variation T. Looks like a U, or a combination U, Y. Here's another one just between the midsection and the left-hand section. It's going to blow it up. Here's another shot right between the two center sections. And once you study this enough, you'll start to see and get your mind will automatically orient itself to this tablet. See, there's a bigger picture of the indexing here. I'll blow it up again so you can see that. If you're working with that, anyone working with that. Here's another real good shot of the far right hand side. Gives you a little bit more idea of some of the characters. Let's get you oriented. There's the Helios again. Here's your indexing. With these pictures, you can get a really good idea of the script. And here, I want you to get a real good idea of looking at this indexing here. You'll notice you got a line coming down here. You have the horizontal line, then you have one here, 1, 2, 3 here, and then another one, okay? Remember that. And here's the rear of the stone. I'm going to blow it up, let you see it. Has this really nice tannet here. The lines are executed so straight and so good. I can't do that with a pencil. And here's the indexing on the rear of it. And you notice it has this 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And it's somewhat similar, but it is different. And that will conclude my section on text and scripted tablets. Thank you for your attention. I have enjoyed showing you my galleries and my sections of my galleries. And I've been taking these pictures for decades. And I'm just now motivated to show you and show the world what these things mean and what they say. And giving you an idea of the script. It's a windstorm outside. It's sleeting. Or freezing rain, or mix. But our neighbors look to be content. Everybody's chowing down. He came back for seconds. Yum. Another one. Okay, here's the fancy feast. And there's tonight's catch. There's tonight's catch. He just makes it look so effortless. But the fancy feast? Oh, not as exciting. I guess Fancy Feast doesn't fight back enough. That's right, get the paw in there. Get that paw in there. Yeah, get it just right. Mmm.